Hello, folks. How you doing? Good to see you, or good to talk to you. Uh, I made a few videos, the latest few, having to do with the architect of the world, having to do with cosmic man, the cosmic man, and having to do with legacy. Okay? Well, I'm going to take the word worship. Okay? And with this word worship, we can tie all these previous videos together, okay, which will help with a better understanding of what I was trying to say. And we also tie the word worship into circadian cycles, a 24-hour period, where the human being is affected by, let's say, changes in the hours from day to day. We put all these together from the word worship, okay? So the first three letters in the word worship has to do with the world. The world. W-O-R has to do with the world. And therefore it has to do with organization. The world is a body, an organized body. You see. And so we also have in the word of worship, we have ship. What do they mean by ship? Oh, the ship is like a boat. We all know that. But in this context, it might not see it as a boat, and maybe some people will. But anyway, we're talking about a boat, a ship that sails across the sky. Okay, over the 24-hour period. So how do we say, well, sails across the sky? There's no water up there. You know what I mean? But the ancient folks, our ancestors, saw the sky, space as a water. Yeah, they saw it as water. Okay? And so therefore, as the sun travels across the sky, the sun we can compare with dryness, not water, but dryness. So therefore, they put the sun in a boat. And they called it the boat of Ra, where Ra indicates the sun. Okay? They didn't want the sun god to drown in the water, so they gave him a boat. They call it a ship now. So anyway, as the sun crosses the sky in his boat, it has what you call the gods in his boat with him. These are the gods of the hours of the day and night. Okay? Now, these hours, each hour changes. We can say that each hour has its energy. Okay? Each hour then can represent a state of energy. Okay? And so we have the gods in the boat to represent this. Okay? And so as it travels across the sky, it affects the human being and all the creatures of earth. Energetic states change. People's mood changes and so forth and so on during the course of the day. This has to do with the sun traveling across the earth, over the earth, from sunrise to noon to sunset. Give us the hours of the day. But there are also hours of the night. And so to give an idea of how the body is affected, we'll go to some of the organ systems of the human body, our organs. So we say at 1 a.m., the liver probably functions at its optimal level. And at 3 a.m., it's the lungs. 5 a.m. is the large intestine. 9 a.m. is the spleen. 11 a.m. is the heart. 1 p.m. the small intestines. 3 p.m. the bladder. 5 p.m. the kidneys. 7 p.m. the internal systems regulator. And 9 p.m. the energy regulator. And 11 p.m. the gallbladder. So we can see now how the organs of the body sort of come to life, really, in its actions during the hours. Each organ has its hour. So in the boat of the sun god, they call it the sun god, the sun, whatever, he has the gods of the hours of the day. So each one of those gods would have to do with the function of the organs of the human body. So those gods then represent the energy coming from the sun that affects the human being during the hours of the day. And because the hours of the day, there's a change in the emanation of the energy from the sun as it travels across the earth, it means there's a change in the organ system. From one organ to the other, each individual organ sort of comes to life, so to speak, or it functions at its optimal level during the hours of the day and night. So this is, we see this is equivalent to the circadian cycles, when people hear about the ship and worship crossing the sky, you know, well, what's he talking about? You know what I mean? But when I mention circadian cycles, they sort of understand. Well, we take a circadian cycle, the first few letters, circa. Circa means to travel all around and about, or to go around and about. Circle, the cycle. Well, that's what the sun does. It travels all around and about the sky. Okay? As a cycle, you see. So we see now where the idea of circadian cycle comes from. It comes from what our ancestors did, because they're the ones who put the ship in the sky and carried the sun all around the circadian cycle, which happens to have to do with the rhythm of the hours of the day and night. So we're talking about order, okay? Organizing, ordering, knowing, putting this knowledge to use, which gives the human being the power, the knowledge, and the authority, really, to know and command activities in his own body. So this is what the word worship is about. The first three letters having to do with the world, world, has to do with organization and order. We order our world so that it will facilitate. We can facilitate our lives here on earth, thanks to our ancestors. So when we talk about the architect of the world, we get a better idea of what's being said. You see, where our ancestors ordered things in our world, as it ordered the movement or the energy emanating from the sun as it travels across the earth or over the earth. You see, this is worship. And see, now we see where the ship comes from. It's the boat of the sun god. You see, this is in mythology. This is in mythological terms. But we know that the sun appears to travel across the sky. Of course, it's the Earth on its spinning on its axis to give us that impression. The ancients knew that, but nevertheless, they put it in terms of a ship crossing the sky. The idea was to stay above water because you drowned in water, right? And they saw the upper skies and whatnot as water. Some scientists still do because they say that outer space is wavy. Water is wavy too, okay? So we can through the mythology, we can connect things together. Things that are happening today, okay? And so it's the cosmic man, okay? The cosmic man is the one who knows these things, okay? And the architect of the world were the folks who put these things in the sky, such as describing them, describing the constellations, and so forth and so on, you know, for future generations. To give them knowledge, even knowledge of themselves, hence self-knowledge. Knowing these things give self-knowledge, knowledge of our human physiology. Okay, thanks, folks. Thank you. Thanks a lot, and subscribe. And I'll be with you again with more videos. All right, bye-bye.